everyone. Welcome to the first session of the subject construction management. And today we are going to start with the first topic or the first chapter, that is introduction, or we can say introduction to construction management. So without wasting much time, let us see what are the contents of today's session. So today in this session we are going to see two topics. The first is what is project, and the second is phases of a construction project. Yes, so today we are going to see two topics. Now, though you know the definition or you know that project, what is project? Project is to, like in terms of construction, we can say that a project is to construct something like building, bridge, road, dam. That what we construct, we call it as project. But in terms of if I define it technically, that is very broad, the definition of the project. Apart from it, we can say that everything and anything can be termed as project. Even if you're planning a vacation to Goa, that is also a project. So now let us see the technical definition of the project. Let us see. So students, here I have defined the project in two ways. The first is as per PMBOK PMI. That means Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMI, Project Management Institute. That is one of the renowned bodies of project management established in USA. That is like godfather of all the project managements. So according to them, a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique service, product, or result. So in terms of construction, that could be a building, that could be a maintenance project, or that could be in construction of a road, highway, or other infrastructure project. So a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service. There are two terms I have highlighted here, temporary and unique. Let us see what they mean. So the term temporary means every project has the definite beginning and the definite end. Yes, that means the projects are temporary. Once the project is completed, that becomes a building or that becomes a product, whichever it is. Building is just an example. If it is in road, while it is being constructed, that is known as road project. But once it is done, that is known as only road. So that is temporary. That projects are temporary. It has definite beginnings and definite ends. The second is unique. The term unique means every project is different in some or other way from the other project. Yes, every project is different than the other projects. So that means if you are constructing one residential building and if you are in another residential building, these two projects are unique because the features, the area, the length, the orientation, something will be different. So that is the unique. I hope we are clear about it. Now let us see the definition according to the ISO 10006. So according to the ISO 10006, it is a unique process consisting of coordinated and controlled set of activities having some start and finish dates to achieve the objective conforming to the specific requirements under the certain constraints such as time, cost, and project quality. Students, so the first definition as per the PMBOK, we pronounce it as PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. So in the definition of PMBOK, the temporary and unique, what they were mean, that is written in the definition of as per ISO, that it is a controlled set of coordinated activities which has start and finish dates, and also they have the constraints like time, cost, and project quality. Apart from it, entire project is undertaken to obtain one objective or specific requirement of the owner or the client. So that is our technical definition of project. I hope we are clear up to this point. Moving forward, now let us see that phases of construction project. But before we move ahead in our second topic, that what are the phases of construction project, let us learn the definition of construction management. We have learned the definition of project. Now let us learn the definition of construction management. So again, there are two definitions. The first is the management in which group of people of different categories work together to complete the project economically without affecting the quality in well planned and organized manner. So that is our construction management, where the group of people comes together, try to complete the project as per the technical requirement and economically in well planned and organized manner. While the second definition of the construction management, or we can say project management, is the application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to a broad range of activities to meet the requirements of the particular project or to complete a particular project. So again, more or less, both the definitions are the same. So that is our construction management, or you can say project management. Now let us look at what we are going to learn, phases of construction project. Let us see. So here are the phases of construction project. There are 5 phases. The first is briefing, then there is designing, then tendering, the fourth is construction, and the last is commissioning. In other way, you can define or you can classify the phases of project as pre-construction, construction and post-construction. But to study them into detail, we are going to divide them into 5 parts. I'm repeating it again: briefing, designing, tendering, construction and commissioning. Let us see each of the phase one by one, starting with the briefing phase. So the briefing phase, or we can say briefing stage, is also known as report stage. In this stage, where the ideas are originated and evaluated on the basis of cost and benefit to study the economic viability and social utility of the project. So that is the first stage. We can say that that is a report stage in which ideas are generated and those ideas or alternatives to do a project are evaluated economically as well as socially. So that is your report stage. I hope we are very clear about it. It is the first beginning stage, briefing. Now let us look at the purpose of having the briefing stage or the report stage. Let us see the purpose. So there are mainly 2 purposes of this briefing stage. The first is to enable the client or the owner to specify the project function and permissible cost. Yes, in this stage, the project function, that by this project what client actually wanted to do, what his vision is, what his thinking is. So that is what we can do in this briefing stage, as well as to fulfill that functions of that project, what are the permissible cost and budget available with the client. The second purpose of this stage is to enable the construction team to interpret the owner's wishes and to have the estimated cost of the project. Yes, by knowing the requirements of the client, the construction team, the consultants can derive the estimated cost of the project. So here are the 2 purposes. Now let us see the activities which are being done in the briefing stage. Let us see. So the first activity is appoint a project steering committee. That means the committee of the people who will guide the project. Generally, these are the architects, owner and the consultants. The next is appoint the project manager. A project manager who will be responsible for the execution of the work as well as the coordination between the various agencies while undertaking the work. Next, to investigate technical and non-technical aspect of the project. Then to study the various projects and to identify the most feasible one. And the last is to prepare a project report. So these are the activities which are involved in the briefing stage, that you appoint a project steering committee, then appoint a project manager, technical and non-technical investigation, list out all the alternatives and try to analyze the most feasible one, and then prepare a project report. So that all the things are being covered in the briefing stage. Now, after this all of activities being done, feasibility report is being prepared in the briefing stage. Now, what is feasibility report? That feasibility, the project is feasible or not, we should do it or not, what are the consequences financially, financially or economically, socially, environmentally, technically. So it is possible or not, we should do it or not. So that is your feasibility analysis or feasibility report. So that you have to prepare. So what is it? Let us see. It contains the result of the technical aspect, technical analysis, as well as the environmental analysis, so that the client or the consultant can design the project properly and can plan the project properly, so as it does not harm the client, the consultant, the user, as well as the environment. So that is the feasibility report. Now, feasibility reports contains this 4 parts. What are they? Let us see. So mainly this 4 kind of analysis are done. The first is technical analysis. The second is economical analysis. The third is financial analysis. And the last is ecological analysis. Technical, economical, financial, and ecological. Now, let us see each of them into detail. But before we start this analysis into detail, let us see a flow diagram. So this is a proper flow diagram for the feasibility analysis. The flow diagram suggests that first generate the ideas. Then there is an initial screening of these ideas. Once initial screening are done, ask that does this idea is looking prima facie, the first impression of the prima facie, that means the first impression of the project is good. If it is good, then move ahead. If it is no, then terminate the idea. Once the first impression of the idea is good, then plan for the feasibility study. In feasibility study, the first do the technical analysis. Then you conduct financial analysis, and then you do economical and ecological analysis. After all the analysis being done, is the project is worthwhile? If it is yes, then continue. If it is no, then terminate the project. And if it is yes, then prepare the funding proposal for the project. So this is the flow diagram for the feasibility report. Now let us start with the first stage, that is technical analysis. Let us see. So here is the technical analysis. In technical analysis, various technical aspect of the project is being checked, such as selection of the site, selection of the appropriate method of construction, availability of various resources and raw materials, then specification of that raw materials, and the last is selection of construction equipment. So these all parameters are being checked as a part of technical analysis. Moving forward, the next is economical analysis. So the economical analysis consists that you have to check if the project is technically permissible, but you have to see that it is economically possible. Does it is going to earn you the profits? Does it is value for money? That is your economical analysis. In economical analysis, the project is evaluated by the various methods such as payback period method, return on investment method, and the benefit cost method. So these are the economical analysis which are being done on the project. Sometimes it may happen that a project is technically possible but economically not possible. So the client must not go for the project if it is economically not possible, because If it is not economically possible, he is not going to get the returns out of that project. I hope we are clear up to this point. The next is financial analysis. So the financial analysis of a project consisting of estimation of capital cost requirement and the source of fundings. Estimate of capital cost requirement, that is cost of materials, cost of resources, cost of equipment, engineering fee, supervision charge, etc. So that is estimate cost of your work. And the second is source of finance, that all the payments are going to be done once you work, but to get the work done, you have to put some amount of money. So source of funding, are you going to take loan, are you going to get something on mortgage, or you're going to put the money on your by yourself? So what are the source of fundings that are being evaluated in the financial analysis? And the last stage is ecological analysis. Let us see. So ecological analysis, that means the environmental impact assessment which is being done on the major projects such as power plant, major irrigation projects, chemical industries, drug industries, etc. On this kind of projects, the ecological assessments are being done and the certain government approvals should be taken. So this is what we done in the briefing stage while making the feasibility report. I hope we are very much clear. This was the first stage, briefing. In briefing, we have to prepare the feasibility. Feasibility has 4 types of analysis: technical, financial, economical, and ecological. Now, let us see the second phase, that is designing phase of the construction project. So this designing stage of the construction project is being also known as the planning stage. Students, do not misinterpret the word design. Design does not mean you have to prepare the drawings. Design, that means you have to plan the project, that how you will do the things, how you will manage the things. That is a designing phase. That means it is one of the important phase, because in this stage you are going to finalize your plan, you are going to finalize your things to do the work. So a small change after this stage would be expensive, pardon me, would be very expensive to you, because you are fixing the things how it is being done. So now you have to once the change is being done, it will be very expensive. So that is very critical stage. Here in this stage, a realistic and detailed cost estimate is being prepared for the project. Now let us see the purposes of this stage. So here are the purposes of this stage is that to prepare the project, to complete the project summary, to finalize the method of construction, the equipments, to prepare the working drawings for the project, for the preparation of the specifications of the different item of work, and to prepare to make the necessary arrangements to invite the tenders. So these are the purposes of the designing stage. Now let us look at the activities involved in the designing stage. So the purposes and the activities are more or less similar, that to complete the project report or the project summary, then to carry out the further technical investigations, that now you are going with this method of construction, what can happen, what are the consequences, then to prepare the drawings, the specifications, BOQ, and preliminary construction program. And the last is to obtain the client's final approval. So these are the activities being done in the designing stage. Let us look at the next stage. The next stage of the construction project is tendering stage. Tendering stage, you have been already learned in the professional practice and valuation subject, that in this stage of the construction, the tenders are invited from the contractors to undertake the work, and the work is awarded to the lowest parties by the mutual understanding of the contractor and the client. The main purpose is very much known, that to appoint a contractor or appoint the various contractor, number of contractors to do the construction. So that is the purpose of the tendering stage. Let us see the activities involved in the tendering stage. So here are the activities which are being performed in the tendering stage. The first activity is to invite the tenders and to perform the pre-qualification process of the contractors. The second is to prepare the necessary contract documents and to arrange a pre-bid meeting to provide the necessary information regarding the project. The next is negotiating the price with the contractor. Then the review of the documents submitted by the contractor. And the last activity which is being done in this stage is clarify the ambiguities in the contract documents. Ambiguities means some of the doubts which are being uncleared. So that clarity of ambiguities in the contract document. So these are the tendering stage. Moving forward, the next stage, the fourth stage, is construction stage. In the construction stage, you know that the execution of a project takes place. Now, the execution must be done according to the design, drawing, specification, that too within the time limit, budget, and required quality. That we have to take care in the construction stage, that a project completes within the time, completes within the cost, achieve the specific requirements stated by the client, quality should be maintained. So that is the most resource incentive stage, that more resources will be allocated in this stage. Now in construction stage, various activities will be interrelated to each other. So delay in one activity will lead to the failure of entire project, or delay in number of activity, and you cannot complete the work within the time and cost. So you have to take care of that here the activities will be interrelated. For an example, the slab, the construction, the formwork of slab, and the steel cutting, these are two activities which are interrelated to each other. While the shuttering is being done, you have to cut the steel for your slab. If it is not done parallelly, if you are going to after it, you are not going to complete the work within the time. So I hope you are getting my point. So that is your construction stage. Now in construction stage, mainly two things are done. What are they? Let us see. The first part is construction planning. In construction planning, generally you prepare the construction schedule, you prepare the material schedule, manpower and other resource schedule, and plant and equipment schedule. So you do the planning first. While the constructing, you do the planning first. The second is control of site operation. The control of site operation consists of supply the materials, supply the materials, supervise over the quality of the work, coordinate between different agencies and different contractors, and supply the necessary drawings. So this is the control the site operations. First you do the planning, and then you try to control the site operations so that your project can be finished within the timing, cost, and quality. Now let us see the last stage, which is commissioning stage. Let us see. In this stage, the performance of the structure is being evaluated, and the proposed nature of maintenance and repairs are considered. The main purpose of this stage is to investigate that the construction has been done according to the design, drawing, and specification, and all the facilities and functions of the project are working correctly. So that is the main purpose of this commissioning stage. Let us see the activities in this stage. So the first activity is to keep the record of the various actual activities. The second is to inspect the construction thoroughly and rectify any defect. The next is to prepare the operating and maintenance manuals. And the last is to carry out the performance test. So these are the activities which are being done on the commissioning stage. So there are 5 stages of the construction: briefing, designing, tendering, commissioning, construction, and then commissioning. 5 stages, and you have to prepare in that order only, because first you have to do first in the real-time project the briefing is done, then the designing or the planning is being done, then the tendering is being done, then the construction, and the last is commissioning. So you have to prepare in that order only. So I hope we are clear very much in our first session. So this is it. That was all about in today's session. In case of any query or doubt, you can always contact me on my mail or my number. Thank you.